and I'm the principal of Fir Ridge.
My name's Becca, and I'm a junior here at Fir Ridge.
And my name's Lanai, and I'm a junior here at Fir Ridge.
I'm Joey Hake. I'm the Dean of Restorative Practices at Fir Ridge Campus.
My name is Jose Martinez Perez, and I'm a junior at Fir Ridge.
My name is Gigi, and I'm a senior at Fir Ridge.
Hi, good morning. My name is Adriana, and I am here on behalf of my son, Adrian, who attends Fir Ridge.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rob Harris. I am the campus security officer here and future teacher as well.
Ooh, look at that. How does that feel?
Feels great.
That's awesome.
Like Tony the Tiger, like great.
That's on there. Oh my gosh. How connected do you feel to staff or teachers at your school?
I feel pretty connected to them. I mean, they always like show support, and like they're always like here and welcoming for you.
I feel more connected with the teachers than I've ever did, because it's like during high school, it's like when we felt distance, but like the teachers, they are always trying to be with us and a part of what we have going on.
I would say I feel pretty connected. I think I've built a good relationship with most of the staff here. I've gotten to meet several of his teachers, and of course you and the principal and the counselor, so I feel very connected.
And you've had a number of conversations with multiple people here at Fir Ridge at different points in your son's education, it sounds like.
Correct.
Great.
I would say I feel pretty connected to the teachers here, because most of the teachers here, they give you support, and they're not just here to do their job, they're actually here to connect with you and to like get to know you in each and every single one of their students, I feel like not every student goes unseen here. I feel like every student is noticed here. Every student. Doesn't matter if like, you're the quiet one, everyone I just feel like almost everyone here knows each other too.
Yeah, and I feel like every teacher tries their best to connect with the students their way as possible. Like even if it's not school-wise, out of school, before school, they just be there for you, even though like it's not for education, it's for your self-purpose.
I'm going to follow up this question. Is there an example you can think of, and maybe a teacher you can think of, that has connected with
Colbert.
you? How does Colbert do that?
Well, out of school, she connected me with Metro East, where it's a video production, little school kind of little program, and she got me an internship there if I sign up and get accepted.
Can you think of a teacher or another teacher, the same teacher, and how do they do that?
Tara really, she just makes me want to come to school and go to science. At first, science was really not my best, and now it's my best subject I can really do. And I feel like Tara has always pushed me to my best and to my limit.
Rob, what does equity mean to you?
Well, equity means that everybody gets a fair opportunity, especially our the kids that we have in our school who may not meet financially the norms and things like that they get everything that they're supposed to get in order to have a fair chance at education.
How confident are you that adults here at Fir Ridge can have honest conversations with you about your life, about race, about all these things that come up in our
I feel like
world?
it would be pretty easy to talk to teachers about that, because many teachers here have they've been through stuff just like us. They've been through so many obstacles in their life, and sometimes they're pretty open about it, because they like to show that you don't have to just keep it in you. You can talk to these teachers. They're here to support you. They're not just here, like I said, they're not just here to just do their job, just teach you. They actually want to connect with you.
Are there any teachers that you know of that he has had a really good connection with?
Yeah, I think the one that comes to my top of my head at first is Tara.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me too.
He's always had a really good connection with her. I think she's always been, very connected with him as well, and just motivating him and pushing him, to strive to be better, to do, to participate. And so I see that relationship, and when we came for the art show, she took that time to interact, even, not just with him, but with the little sister too, and so that was really nice to see, the passion that she has for teaching, your interaction with Brianna too, so you know, it was nice. You know, it was nice to feel connected. And but I think that's one of the biggest teachers that stands in my mind. And then I think is it Michelle?
Colbert, art teacher.
Art teacher. I think that's the other teacher that he's really has kind of mentioned.
When we think about like belonging somewhere, what does that look like for you?
Heavy on like the emotional support, because some people need it more, and so if they want to belong, they need it, and so it has to be there for feel like it's home or something, or like I'm a part of something.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a good thing, because yeah, I feel like maybe people have stuff going on at home or outside of school, and like when they come here, it's like, oh, everybody's a community, everybody's a family. So
Looking at yourself and then looking at the students in our building, do you ever think about, do you ever look and think about maybe Becca's experience as a Hispanic student in Portland versus your own personal experience?
I don't feel like I have to worry about that here.
Okay.
I feel like you guys do a good job of showing everybody what support they need, and so I never feel like, oh, Becca's getting more support because I have me and Becca are two different people, so maybe she needs more support and I don't.
yeah, totally.
So it's like she's getting what she needs and so am I. So it's like I don't really have to think about it.
How comfortable are you discussing race-related topics with your colleagues here at Fir Ridge?
I am very comfortable discussing that, and the comfortability is a two-way street, because I'm comfortable saying it, and I'm also comfortable with the staff here enough to have that conversation. So, very comfortable.
Do you feel like that's always been the case, or is it something, that the building has grown into?
I think it's a little bit of both. We had Mr. Knight, who was here when I was here. When I first started, felt 19 years ago. I think we had a great working relationship, but he was really building the foundation. So race really wasn't the topic then, but I think as time has gone on and the population has changed, particularly in Southeast Portland, and I think that, and especially in our school, I think the topic is well discussed.
How often do you have classes with students from different racial, ethnic, or cultural backgrounds?
All of our
classes,
yeah.
every single class.
Yeah.
I feel like every time you walk into the building, you just see kids of color. It's like the school. I feel like that's what makes the school what it is, I feel like.
Makes it different.
Yeah.
How often do you see different cultures being represented around here and celebrated around
Always. Usually either Tara or Colbert or all the teachers usually put signs up about like different, ethnicities, religions, or like different people from the past that have history. Yeah, they just like put bullet boards,
Every day.
Like every single class. It's very diverse. We have different groups in like every class.
Yeah. Like she said, it's really diverse here.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's not the norm in other schools that you've been in?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Maybe like not all public schools, but like there's a bit of diversity, but just not as much as Fir Ridge. Like every single class is like very high for a high school.
Yeah.
And not just like one or two of your classes.
How does discussing race-related topics show up in our building?
Well, it shows up because our population has changed, and I think that we serve a unique community, and I think that that has to be at the forefront because we want the best for our kids and to prepare them, as best as we can for the world that's out there.
Are you ever asked to talk about or think about the perspective of a different race or culture?
Yeah, always.
Can you think of an example or a time where that happened with you here at Fir Ridge?
Yeah, Craig's class of Black History.
Ooh,
I love that class. It taught me a lot about like a different person's history, like everybody else's history, not just ours. Like it just teaches you more about the world.
Yeah. That's what I like about Craig too, because Craig, I feel like every lesson he does, there's always a little bit, and you always learn something new.
Yeah.
Because he always has something to say about different backgrounds. Like right now we're learning about, I think it's the Indians. We're learning about India right now and how they became to be, and like how like half of their countries like living in poverty and stuff like that. Just how they live.
You wouldn't have known that otherwise.
Yeah, and
Craig
how
taught
like
you that. Yeah.
yeah.
How confident are you that students at Fir Ridge can have honest conversations about race?
We're all pretty confident to talk about.
And that
Race.
kind of depends on
Yeah.
like the person.
Yeah.
Because some people are less comfortable than others. So it's like, are they ready to open up? Is on them. But if they were, I feel like it's the teachers are very good people to open up to.
You know, at Fir Ridge, I think it's just understood that we have a great environment. I think we have a very unique environment that even though we're a small school, we have so many different races and cultures and things like that. So I think the conversation is actually normal, and I think it's a good thing. So
Sometimes it comes up. Like,
Yeah, it
it
definitely
eventually
comes up.
comes up when you just see a difference in something, or where you see the same in something. You're like, oh, or you're like, oh, look, that's a change. Or like, oh,
Yeah.
we should fix that up or something. Like it's always like a topic of this.
Yeah, and especially since like I feel like here there's a lot of African American kids and Latino kids, and I feel like those two we like. I don't know. I just feel like our cultures are like much alike, and that's what brings a lot of students together. They find like things that are the same in their cultures, and it brings them together. Like, oh, you do this too. They're like, oh yeah.
So you can actually have that conversation,
Yeah.
and it kind of is an eye-opening moment.
Yeah,
Like you
it
said,
is.
this, people in India have this perspective, and you get this perspective that you can kind of connect with and
Yeah.
see yourself in them.
How well does your school help staff speak out against racism?
safe to say that we're one of the best in the district. I would say, you know, maybe a little biased, but I think it's really up there. The conversation is open. I mean, it's still uncomfortable, but open all the same.
Can we ask you a question?
Sure.
Yeah. How do you feel like about the diversity here?
That's a great question. I love the diversity here. I feel very honored to have the opportunity to be the principal of a school that looks like we do. I couldn't imagine being anywhere else. I like the idea of equity in the sense of making sure that students get what they need. And like you guys said earlier, what you might need versus what you might need are two very different things. And so if I gave you both the same thing, one of you might not be as successful. And so I really have to think about that. You know, and to think about like the walls and stuff, it was interesting. And I'm so glad you guys noticed, because we used the Youth Truth data, and some of the feedback on that was like, we want to see more photos and artwork and stuff of people that look like us. And when I say us, I mean the students, not the staff. So we've been really trying to put in an effort to like listen and to kind of grow and change.
Yeah, that's what I like about Fir Ridge. I mean, the staff, like when you talk to them, they don't just push you away and they're like, oh, okay, what do you want me to do about it? Like, they actually listen.
Do you feel like there's like racial, like, what was that word that he used earlier?
Equity, equitable.
Equity, yeah.
I think about that in two different ways. I think about that relative to other schools. I think that we do a really good job. When I look at other schools in our district and in our county and like the East County out here, I think we do a really good job of getting students to feel included in things. As far as a staff, I don't think we're very diverse. So that you brought up.
I was gonna ask another question. Do you think we need more people of color as staff?
Absolutely, 100%, very much so. I think that your staff, like your teachers and your staff at your school, should be the same representation of the students at your school.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you have 25% of your students are Hispanic, 25% are African American, 25% are Asian, or 25% are, then your staff should reflect that too. So that's truly how you become equitable, is that same representation is. The nice thing about our school, I think you guys said that too, is you get to know a teacher personally and like what their story is. And it's not just the culture that you can connect with, but the experiences that you can connect with. And I think that we do a great job of that here. That even though I identify as a white male, I can see myself in someone of a different culture that maybe not be. And I can have those conversations where it's deeper than just like, may not look alike, but we can have shared experiences together.
Yeah.
I think here at our school, we can do a better job of that by getting people to come in that are from our community, that are people of color, that can share their experience, and they can do it in a different way. I can tell you my experience, but I have a white perspective on the world. I have a lot of blind spots.
Yeah.
I think our staff do a good job of trying to recognize those blind spots because I don't know what I don't know. If you tell me like, hey, in my culture, man, you don't look somebody in the eye, it's like, then I won't do that anymore. But for my culture that I grew up in a small town, Oregon, white predominant culture, those are things that I grew up with, and I can't change my experiences unless somebody sheds some light on that.
Yeah.
And I think our staff welcome that. And if you were to tell a staff member, like, this is not something I'm comfortable with because my culture does it this way, they're going to be like, shoot, I'm sorry I didn't do it that way. I will own that, and next time I will shift that. And I think that's what we do really well here, is we're flexible and we can take on different, we can absorb those experiences and shift the way that we do things in the future. And that's ultimately what equity is like, I'm not going to know all the answers, but if you tell me something, I'm going to do what I can to shift to make it the way that you're asking me to do it.
I feel like that's what makes Fir Ridge at the same time.
What makes Fir Ridge Fir Ridge? Tell me more about that.
What makes Fir Ridge is just, I don't know how to explain. When you get here, like, it's like a big old family. Like when you get here, you know, you're just like, all right, I'm ready. Cause like ever since I got here, I totally forgot I even went to Douglas. I'm like, I've only been to Fir Ridge, you know? And I just feel like every time you come here, you feel welcome. The teachers, we do call teachers by the last name sometimes, but there's no Mr., Mrs. And I feel like that's what helps too, a lot. Because it feels like you're not like, oh, Mr. Like sometimes there is some, like Miss Binder, I call her Miss Binder, but that's because like, I don't know, I
feel like what makes Fir Ridge is that they're just different. Everybody here is unique, and Fir Ridge people help you get opportunities that you don't even think you could get because you get sent to a place where you're like, oh, well, it's different. But it's like you're somebody here and everybody is important here and they make you feel that way.
Are there some things that you wish that we were doing at Fir Ridge that we could possibly start adopting or start doing that would make maybe not just Adrian, but students of all different kind of races and ethnicities and cultures feel more welcome?
I mean, I think you guys are doing such a great job. And, you know, even when I look at your guys' staff, you know, I see a very diverse, you know, culturally, color, race, height, shapes, you know, it's very diverse, you know, so I think that's great. I know it's really hard having so many students, but one of the things that I noticed in the past that really worked with Adrian was having teachers actually call him. I remember his sophomore year, he was falling behind, and an English teacher actually took the time, called him and said, hey, Adrian, I'm just checking in with you, seeing how you're doing, you know, how can I help you? You know, what assignment, you know, if you are able to complete these assignments, then you'll be able to pass my class, you know, like. And I know that's not always feasible, you know, with so many students and things going on a day-to-day life. But I think having that outreach from the teacher and just really, you know, saying, hey, I'm here for you, I care about you, made a big difference for him, you know. And I think just having that continuous positive feedback. I think a lot of these kids, that's what they really want and need is the positive feedback. Of this is what you're doing so great, and not always just the nitpicking of what they are doing
not
incorrect.
Doing, but you are doing. Yeah, that was when I got done with that conversation with Adrian the other day, where we met the group of young men in there. The next day, it felt like he was like just more open and just lighter and just more positive, and just like you said, that one phone call the teacher made, the huge impact that can make too. And I think that we try and fill ourselves up as much as we can and not look at like what we don't have, but what we are doing and what we do have. And so it's so nice to just sit down with you and have that conversation about your experience. And if there's anything that we can do more of because myself, I have these blind spots that I don't know about, that if it does come up, I would just hope that we could hear more from you, your perspective, or Adrian's perspective of what we can do to improve this school.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me or thoughts or?
No, I feel like you guys are doing a great job.
Cool.
You know, I'll be honest, you know, most times when I do get a call, it's usually not a good call for Adrian, you know, so.
There's that feeling you probably get where it's like, oh gosh.
You know, but those calls when I have gotten that, you know, hey, you know, he's doing great, you know, I think is, oh, okay, we're getting there, you know, we're making a little bit of progress. You know, it feels good to get those good calls too. And I think, you know, as a parent, you know, sometimes you need that too. And you need to, you know, also remind our kids, hey, you're doing a great job. Or, hey, you know, I got this phone call and they said these great things about you. And not always like, hey, I got a call because you weren't doing what you were supposed to be doing in classroom. Which I know, you know, they should know what to expect and do, but
Should's a hard one for me sometimes.
it is.
So I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I know it's kind of hard to make it in just for like 10 to 15 minutes, but I really appreciate you coming on in.
I'm Amy Straw.
And I'm Joey Hake.
And we believe in equity.